Let's go!
Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you can hear me, give me a 1 in the chat. Somebody's in there. Give me a 1 if you can hear me. We are soon to be coming to you 5 days a week right here on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcast, college football content. We are brought to you by Hall of Fame Media, News, Sun, Publishing, and our friends over at Louisiana Grills. Don't forget to check out all their amazing deals at our podcast link. It will be in the description after we finish up. I have a special guest in here. I hope everybody can hear me. Give me a 1 if you can hear me in here. What a deal. I'm going to bring my special guest on, the professor from Hightop Sports, Mr. Cody Sprague. Cody, how's it going, bud?
What's up, man? It's going good. Had some obviously some technical difficulties. But...
Hey, man, I've got new cooler equipment apparently, and it doesn't want to to cooperate.
Yeah,
I guess
work.
for me.
Yeah, it happens.
Anyway, so who all's in here? Say hello. Say hello to us. Make sure I know that you're in here. You can hear me and everything. I know Cody can hear me. That's a good thing. Let me check over here since nobody's saying nothing. Let us see. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Kim and Adele said yes.
Perfect.
All right, we're locked in. We're ready to go.
All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. Well, we can talk about a few different things. Something that has been coming up, and I was watching a little bit of Josh Payton, and I actually had a couple of things, like kind of spin-off questions to what he was talking about, but we're going to get into that because I definitely want to jump into that on Tuesday. What I really wanted to talk to you about, Professor, Mr. Florida Gator, what is all this craziness going on with the recruiting? You've got 7 guys in the last 3 days. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what's up with that? Because everybody's saying that they're just dumping a bunch of money in their pocket. Is that what's going on over there? You think? I mean, not that that's against the rules.
You know, it's when you're doing as what I heard from the famous David Goggins. I don't know if you know who that is. Navy SEAL.
I know who David Goggins is. Yes.
Professional runner, motivator. If you don't have haters, you ain't doing it right. Okay, so. FSU and Miami are throwing a tizzy because Billy Napier decided to essentially, show Lane Kiffin after Lane Kiffin trolled us after getting our 2025 recruit quarterback. He decided to go to Ole Miss after essentially reclassifying to 2023 because he's like a super genius or something. And he decided to go to Ole Miss. Now, I don't understand why, because that quarterback class is full, and they don't need any more quarterbacks. But, I mean, Lane Kiffin's a decent developer of quarterbacks, so whatever. It is what it is. Apparently his dad also got a spot on, somewhere in the coaching realm there, and his dad is a high school coach. So, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. But this is the problem. He goes out and he tweets, essentially, won't back down by Petty, which is our famous
I love it.
3rd to 4th quarter theme song.
Right.
At Billy Napier, right? And at Florida Gator football. And so Billy Napier goes, okay, you want to get nasty with it? We'll go get nasty with it. And he saved the blockbuster for the end. And you go out and get Waller out of Mississippi. That was an Old Miss. Everybody was thinking he was going to Ole Miss, and Billy Napier scoops him up. So it's one of those
Pretty
things
solid
where
move too on his part to be able to get him. He must have dumped a boatload in their pocket, huh?
well, I don't know about boatload. It's I think truthfully, Billy Napier runs the same deal at Florida as what Britt Venable runs at Oklahoma. He's about
Right.
building character, building the man.
Hey, there's only
And
one Oklahoma, bro. There's only one Oklahoma. Tell him,
well, I
guys.
get that.
Come on.
I get that, but they're the same. They're cut from the same cloth. If that makes you feel better, right? And so,
Sure.
and now the thing is everybody's saying, well, all these kids are flipping. All these kids are gonna flip. You ain't gonna retain them.
That's what you're hearing a lot of. And whenever we had the show the other night, we had Jay from Unfair Sports on there. He was talking a lot about that, and he was feeling like it had to have been, when you get that many guys at one time, it means, and this is what you're hearing from a lot of places, is that that means that you were just forcing them to commit there, or they couldn't get the money or whatever. They weren't going to be able to sign for that. But that just leads to flips later on down the line if that's not what they really wanted to do, which when we talked about before with Venables, the difference is that that's not how they do things at all there. It's a total, relationship building. He does not want you to, he wants you to go on all your visits. So it seems like Billy kind of took a detour from what he was doing because it seemed like that was the direction he was headed as well.
See, and this is where I think that this is where we're gonna veer back to Venable is that we have the best linebacker class in the nation. I think we have like 5, 6, and 7. Number 5, 6, and 7 linebacker right now, and all of them just shut down their commitments. Like they're not recruiting. They're not taking any more visits. And then we had 2 more players shut it down. So I think Billy Napier, I don't think the relationship is a thing where a lot of players love Billy Napier. And we missed out on a lot last year with the whole Miami deal with Ruiz dumping a bunch of money, and look where they're at now that he's broke. They're like 23rd, 24th, 25th. And I think,
yeah, but that's still pretty solid, man. 20. If you're in the top 25 in recruiting, that's some places. I mean, and when's the last time really Miami was doing that? I guess they recruit pretty high. They were high up last year. This last cycle,
the last cycle they bought a bunch of players, but if you do the calculations of Kamar and McLean and Rashada leaving, that it was like a mid class. It was 12, 13, 14, which is fine, whatever. But we know essentially everybody wants to win a national championship, right? And you got to be top. You got to be top 3 to win a national championship. Everybody knows that.
That's not necessarily true, but I get where you're at. Yes, go ahead. You have to do it at least once every few years.
Correct.
Yes.
And if you're going to catch up to Georgia, you got to be nipping on the heels, right? Because they're a juggernaut. And Alabama.
But here's the thing: is if you're forcing them to go ahead, if you're like, okay, we're not going to give you this money, and you're like making it about money.
I don't think it's a money thing, though. I think it's a spot thing. I think.
Well, why would you put them on the spot like that? This is just okay, because this is where I would say everybody here would tell you that this is a big difference between, we talk about a lot that, we felt like they're kind of in a parallel position right here.
Yeah.
Florida may be a little behind development wise and player wise, just from this past cycle, right?
Yeah.
But they had a really good recruiting class in 22, and he just got there. And so, kind of the same type of deal. But in this instance, couldn't be more opposite, because this is not, I mean, you've had David Stone that's tried to commit at least twice that I know of for sure. And I've heard that it's been multiple more times than that. I don't know that that's positive, but Coach Venables does not want you going anywhere else if you're going to make the commitment. Now, if you want to go and take all your visits, he encourages everybody to do that. But this is where that whole, we're not going to commit to each other. You're not going to be dating other people while you're dating me, and blah, blah, and vice versa. Because they're going to take a spot off of,
I get that,
their recruiting numbers.
And the guys that we got, most of them. Now, the Waller was the big splash, but let's be real. The guys that we got this weekend, Billy Napier said, take it or leave it. If not, then we're going to go shopping.
Right.
And you can do that with 3 and lower 4-star guys.
Early, it seems like, Cody. Come on now.
Huh?
seems a bit early for that, doesn't it? I mean, it seems.
Well, he doesn't want to be.
Seems
It's not desperate. It's not desperate. He doesn't want to be behind the ball, and he wants to get his recruits early. And I get what you're saying from the outside perspective.
I think he's worried about the. I think he's worried about losing to everybody else. That the possibility. I mean, because
so you're feeling it's a bad optic.
It is a bad optic. It is. It doesn't look good. If
what happens if he retains all of them?
Now listen, if he retains all of them, I'll shut up and eat crow.
Because Josh Pate put $1,000 a pop on
him. Good for Josh Pate. Good for Josh.
But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? A guy way more connected than what we are, right?
That's not what I'm saying. But you know good and well that, come on, brother. If you're putting them in a spot like that and they weren't ready to make that commitment, and you're telling them tomorrow this scholarship offer is not here, of course they're going to take it because they're not sure that they're going to.
Urban used to do it all the time.
Well, Urban won some national championships. Billy hasn't done that.
Yeah, but he's following the Urban blueprint.
Okay.
You don't think Nick Saban says the same thing? You don't think Kirby Smart says the same thing? Listen, if you don't come in...
I think they do, but I also believe that a lot of this is where you get a lot of flips. I think that this is right where Jay was spot on, was this right where you get a lot of flips.
No, I understand that.
So Kim is asking, what do you see as the over-under in 23 for Florida? He's coming right at you.
What's the over and under?
Yeah.
With the fourth toughest schedule in the nation? I think 7.5. I think 7.5.
That's still pretty
wins.
Solid, bro. Yeah, that'd be pretty solid. So you're expecting good things out of this quarterback?
Mertz, I think, is a game manager, and I think he will do what Anthony Richardson couldn't. And guys, I get it. Anthony was a freak athlete, but here's the thing: we really didn't have wide receivers. Number one.
Hey, there he is.
We didn't have. What's up, Hank? We didn't have wide receivers, and we have a trio.
Mars.
And Jason, you can attest to this.
Yeah.
Andy Jean, Mizell, and Wilson are real deal wide receivers, correct?
Sure.
Absolutely. And then we beefed up where we need to beef up in the transfer portal. Now, do I think Mertz is going to win a Heisman? No. Do I think he's going to win us a national championship? No, I don't. I don't think that. Can he win 7 games? Absolutely. Do I think the defense is going to be better under Armstrong? Absolutely. And we talked about this, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
I put $200 on the Sooners to win their conference championship on a spring game because the defense was so much better than last year.
Completely different, right? Hank's been drinking. Right. He said, "Yeah, that a boy." That's how we like you, good and greased up when you get here, bud.
Cheers.
Right on. Yeah, I don't have a beer with me because I'm at the office, so I can't really do that. But I could probably get away with it, but I don't think I will today. Listen, folks. Obviously, this is Cody, the professor, coming. He is coming from Hightop Sports. F is for Fanatics is his channel. He has been doing a ton more stuff with Shelton at Hightop Sports. They have a pro football show that they do on some kind of crappy teams, but the show's great. Yeah. The show's great. No, these guys are doing an amazing job. As a matter of fact, just wanted to these guys actually hooked it up. Shelton, who runs Hightop Sports, this is a Jason White signed Heisman helmet here that they got sent in the mail. Pretty cool spot, man. When we get everything up, we're gonna enjoy that. Okay, Mars Jan says 9-3 Gators, man. Dude, Shelton's the man, dude. I didn't even think he liked me that much, man, and he hooked it up real good.
I'm an employee. I haven't got nothing. I got to keep grinding.
So I told him, I said, I'm not sure I'm not getting greased up here because Cody sends me a freaking shirt, and now you're sending me a helmet. What's going on?
Yeah. You know how we work.
I feel like getting greased up here. That's what's going on. No, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that. But guys, everybody, again, make sure that you get over there. Check out Cody's channel at F is for Fanatics, and then make sure that you get over there. You guys' show's on Sunday at what time again?
7:35 Sunday.
On 7:30 Eastern time, Sundays. Going to be awesome. Yeah, Hank's asking that. This is what Hank has been saying this more than anybody. How many flips will FU have to deal with? It's never UF with Hank. You know this.
I get it, Hank, but I don't think very many. I don't see any. Because here's the deal, Hank. I don't. Everybody feels like it's a ransom act that Billy Napier's running right now. I don't really think it's that. I think he had a bunch of guys in the
optics
bag.
are not good, bro. They look like what we said. It looks desperate, man.
Yeah, no, I think he had a bunch in the bag, and he just, he shot the club up. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's one of those things where he wanted to make a splash.
I mean, for the Aaron Hernandez folks out there, that was a nice reference.
Easy, golly, can't win.
Oh my god!
No, but it's historically a big weekend, right? And
sure.
For all Billy Napier. Let's talk about this for a second. Look at everything he's been through.
Right.
We made national media 4 times last year. Nothing for good. Stokes, obviously, he does what he does on our social media, rapping to a song and dropping an N-word with it.
Remember.
And then
the quarterback.
Kitna, quarterback Kitna on the team. He gets hit with the pedo charge, and it has just been Rashada. The guy is just getting kicked in the sack every left and right. You know what I mean? But for I get that. Yeah. But for as much as he got kicked in the sack, I think he comes back with a great recruiting class, and it's one of those things where I feel like we're gonna be okay with it. So Oklahoma, and everybody's having big things right now, right?
Listen, if you talk to a lot of Oklahoma fans right now, they're pissed off because there hasn't been more commitment shit.
What are you at right now? Let's pull it up.
Let's pull it up. But I can tell you right now that they haven't. The only ones that really matter, first and foremost, David Stone. Okay.
Well, that's a late guy. That's a guy that's going to be.
Of course it is, and this is what you continue trying to say to everybody, but that doesn't mean they're listening.
Well, here's the thing. Fan stands for fanatic, right?
If the number one running back in the country, Taylor Tatum, ends up at Oklahoma instead of going to USC like everybody was expecting him to, especially with the room as deep as it is at OU for running backs, everybody is going to – I mean, I think it's proof positive that these guys are –
Everybody keeps talking about the bags that Billy's dropping. If we were really dropping bags, we would have got Gibson. That just committed to Texas.
No, he didn't just commit to okay. Wait a minute. Who?
Gibson.
Which Gibson?
Running back. He just committed today or yesterday.
Okay. See, I hadn't seen that just yet. Now, I do know that Texas Tech stole away the number one receiver in the country from Texas.
And we're gonna maybe start covering them a little bit more, right?
Who's that? Texas Tech. Absolutely, man. Joey McGuire's down there kicking butt. I mean, you have to look and see what the guy. Well, and I mean they've got him. Then if they turn around and get Ivan from Odessa Midland, he's a 5-star as well. That'd be 2 5-star receivers in the same class. So I think that they're still going to need some work on the. I think they're a dark horse though in this conference this year, and what it looks like to me is that he is staking his claim to the Big 12 post Oklahoma, Texas. Right.
This right here is how I know that Billy Napier isn't dropping all kinds of bags and people aren't going to flip. Hayes Fawcett reports elite 2024 running back Jared Gibson out of Gainesville, Florida.
Right.
Out of Gainesville, Florida, commits to the Longhorns.
Yeah, but a lot of guys want to get out of town where their home is. You know what I mean? They don't want to stay there. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. And if you got a chance to go to Texas to go play for Sark.
Yeah, but I'm
think
on your
Sark's
bandwagon.
Terrible,
He hasn't won 10 games.
Yeah, he hasn't. Okay, so right now Oklahoma is ranked number 43 overall with their top recruit being Zion Kearney, wide receiver. So far, hard commits 8, and none of them are the big targets. When you start looking at But there's no, but when you go early, when you go heavy early, when these guys are not signing yet, because if you look at all the main guys or the commitments, you don't have a ton of them. You have Raiola, of course. You've got some of the quarterbacks, but they generally go a little earlier, right?
Yeah.
Because with quarterbacks, you you need to, it's almost like a cakewalk, when you're walking around and you got to get your freaking seat before the music turns off. So it's, with quarterbacks, that's just kind of how it goes. Now, posting the chills video. What is this? Oh yeah, because he posted that about the Red River game. I saw that. I was like, huh. That's pretty funny.
Now I ask you this. Where were you at last year at this time? Around this time? About the same?
About the same, man. And here's the thing. After Champ U, which it would have been the weekend before this past one. Here we are, Sunday night. This one, the last weekend was Champ U barbecue. Generally, after that, it was about a week or so later. And really, actually, at the start of July is when you started hitting big. You got Jackson, and then you got PJ Adebawore, and then you got Makari Vickers and Samuel Mosiho. And, I mean, it just started rolling right there, right? So they picked up some recruits there was a couple that had ended up flipping. You had Anthony Evans that flipped to Georgia. But that was one of those things where, Coach V let him take the official visit there because his mother was a big Georgia fan. But he kind of knew what was going to happen there.
Yeah.
And so, it was kind of how it was.
We had that with a running back.
Yeah.
Bowman.
So, Jimmy, when do we think Tatum will commit? They're saying it's not going to be too terribly long from what I can tell. But the thing is you could see at the end of July even. I don't know exactly when he's going to do it. It seems like with him, he's probably going to come down to the wire because now he was talking about DeMarco Murray and his dad being super tight. He talks to DeMarco every day. I think he's really in it. So the longer that he doesn't commit seems like to me the closer maybe he's getting pushed towards OU because everybody's thought he was going to SC. But to be honest, I mean, guys, that's gravy if you get Tatum, okay? I know he's the best back in the nation ranking-wise right now. Does that mean he's better than either of those guys that they got coming in Smothers and the kid from Denton, Ryan? I mean, these are and then you've got Gavin Sawchuk and you still have Javonte Barnes as well, who are just sophomores. Yeah. This is the deepest room in the country right now. I would say, yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
It's the thing is that I mean they're definitely in the top 2 or 3 anyway. I can get. I mean,
yeah, I'd say Florida's up there too.
But I like gravy too, Jimmy. I'm with you on that. He said I like me some gravy.
I think
put that shit on there. Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
Truthfully, I think Oklahoma and Florida probably have top 5 nationally best running
classes
back
again.
Right now. Well, best running back rooms right now.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, see, I don't know much about your. I think that Texas is right there. They got CJ Baxter. They still have Blue. They also have what was that other kid's name that was the number 1 running back in Texas a year ago. They got a nice running back room as well. Alabama's going to be good. Georgia's going to be good in the backfield. LSU generally is, But let's talk a little bit about that. We're going to get into a little more LSU? Oklahoma. Let's talk a little LSU. I saw you were tweeting a little bit yesterday. And guys, make sure that you hit that like button when you're in there. We've got 24 people in here now. Make sure that we've got equal amount of likes, man, if you appreciate us bringing you this content all the time. I'm glad to have the professor on once again. If you would like to take a look at our Fanatics store, you can get up to 65% off everything on Fanatics just by using the Hall of Fame Media link. Buy your favorite team apparel. Never overpay again. You can also get into our podcast merchandise. Check out the 4-star booty wear. If you have been blocked by Lincoln Riley, make sure you go buy your badge of honor. Get you a I was blocked by Lincoln shirt. Make sure that you get that taken care of. Right above Cody there on that at that web address. Make sure that you put it in caps, same thing and all that. You get a great deal on that as well. That one helps us out. But hey, make sure if you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscriber button or just click the like. That's the free way to make sure that we are getting out there on the algorithm. It helps us creators all the time. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So, Hank, are you a little bit there? You're getting a little sleepy headed there, Hankster? Been drinking a little bit, huh? Sunday drinking.
Sunday fun day is what we call it.
That's what you're supposed to do, you know. All right. So tell me a little bit. Tell me what you think about this deal with LSU, because you were talking about a past issue that they got or whatever. Well, talk to me about that.
Okay. So they were already on probation because of essentially a...
Let me stop you real quick, though. What does probation mean right now?
So probation from the NCAA means that we're watching you. And usually it means that the teams usually strike themselves for stuff before the NCAA acts. So it's like, okay, you caught me. We're going to give this up, right? And so they were already on probation for essentially a recruiting scandal. And then they get popped with this big one, which is funneling money. Odell Beckham was giving money to players on the sideline, cash, during the 2020 season.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's big. And
doing it again?
So this is the revamp. So they're on probation for essentially they were moving money or paying players is what they were doing in 2019. And then that obviously gets rolled like court systems, and it enacted in 2022.
Yeah.
Now in 2023, September of 2023, when they're still on probation, they get hit with all these other violations of essentially moving money around, and they were stealing money from boosters, paying players when they weren't supposed to. Odell Beckham in the 2020 season was giving players money, and then was giving them like $2,000-$3,000 a game, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Full on Texas A&M, huh?
Worse, they were doing it out in public.
Worse,
and then you get it effectively all the way up to Ed Orgeron. So Brian Kelly walks in and he's in a clusterfuck, right? Essentially, and it's hurting their recruiting. There's been guys from LSU decommitting because they...
I don't know that that's the biggest thing. There's some other things going on. What it is a lot of fakeness there, and they're seeing through it. And
they had the sex scandal too.
Kelly, yeah, I know. Well,
with what's his name?
Yeah, the defensive coordinator.
No. It was a defensive back and Booty.
Oh yeah,
Booty.
Yeah.
Booty getting the booty with Destiny Wilson, the head of athletics.
That is a juicy story. That's a juicy story. We're gonna have to get an LSU guy in here to tell us the story, man.
Golly, it's a mess. Right? It's a giant mess down there at LSU. And then they got caught. So essentially, what happened was the offensive line coach. This is the third part of it. 2021 during COVID. The offensive line coach was sending players LSU equipment, like swag, during the dead period. Was sending it to their house, and the NCAA found out about that. So it's essentially 4 years of recruiting violations all rolled into one. They had their final hearing on it. And so essentially I think they're gonna miss. They forfeited a bunch of games. And including 2 Florida games that they won. It's a giant mess. It is. It really is in Baton Rouge. And it's like one of those things where when has LSU not been on probation? Right? It's always in the news.
Well, look at everything that happened with Les. You know, all this stuff with Les Miles.
That was the first probation. They're still on the first probation with Les Miles from all the egregious stuff he did.
Right.
So the NCAA,
but here's the thing:
how many probations you get?
Everybody's talking about but the NCAA doesn't really have any teeth anymore because they know. Okay, for instance, they just passed the NIL laws in Oklahoma. The NCAA is, according to the law, the schools will not even pay any attention to it. They're not. They have zero. I mean, Oklahoma. The state of Oklahoma is saying the NCAA has zero jurisdiction over their colleges. None of them. Pretty similar to what DeSantis did there in Florida.
Yeah, he did.
But they've even took it kind of a step farther, right?
And Texas went wild.
Yes. Oh, right? Of course, it's Texas. They're not having it. They would never. I mean, this is what their God-given right is for them to go play football and do it however they want. Yeah. This is why SMU actually got you know how many times it took over and over and over of them doing the same shit before they finally got the death penalty. Yeah, it was just year after year after year. They could care less.
And LSU is just in a heap of trouble. They were stealing money and doing all kinds of shady shit.
Listen, there's going to be, and here's that's what will tell you right there that they might be the most dangerous team in the country, because you got to have a few criminals, as you would know about, since you're
God, will you stop that? We had the holy roller, Tim Tebow, made up for all those bad sins.
He did not make up for the rest of those clowns.
Made up for the
Clowney brothers. Or not Clowney brothers, the Lyman brothers, the Pounceys. The Pounceys. Yeah. And I mean, and Aaron Hernandez, man, he was shooting kids back then.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Couple bodies on him. Jesus.
He gets a couple of bodies, and you're just going to start dogging the whole program.
Yeah. So the LSU thing is wild, though, because it feels like LSU cannot get out of their own shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just... And then, obviously, me and you are not fans of Brian Kelly. We think he's just the
no. Listen, I think he's a good coach. I definitely think he's
grimy.
No doubt.
No, I think he's a great coach. He's grimy.
And I think there's very few people in the country that don't feel that way about him. Even, Coach Roybal, he'll sit there and tell you he couldn't stand him, and most of the guys that played for him couldn't stand him, but they all knew he was a great coach. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, 5 stars. Listen, this is going to go down. I'm telling you, getting a 4-5-star D line. Oh yeah. Listen, they can be more.
Can we talk about that 5-star thing for a second?
Yeah.
It's so frustrating, right?
Right.
Because essentially, when you think 247 and On 3 have it figured out, they go and do some stupid shit. Like the Arch Manning deal last year showed total bias, right? Am I wrong? He was not the best player in the country.
Yeah, he wasn't in the top 5 of guys that I saw. I went to the All-American.
My dad saw him live.
Yeah.
And he was the DB from Ponchatoula, is 10 times better.
Dante Moore, if there's anybody that's better than Jackson Arnold, it was Dante Moore. That'd be it, though.
And then the other frustrating thing is this Georgia bump that seems to be, Shelton went off on a rampage about it. You commit to Georgia, you get 25 spots up, 50 spots up. They moved Bowen up 125 spots.
Wow!
As soon as he committed to Georgia.
Eli?
Running back that flipped.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, and I actually saw Eli Bowen. He was hanging out at freaking Texas over the weekend. That wasn't a good look.
Ugh. Chauncey.
I was talking about Eli Bowen is Peyton Bowen's little brother.
Tim, what about what language am I speaking to you? Oh, about how the recruiting sites are crooked? And it's sad. And this is what really pisses me off. For guys like me and you and Shelton, that really, we don't have full teams to go watch these guys, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe if Hightop hits it big, like McAfee, maybe we still can't cover everybody. There's no way we could run a recruiting site, right? You'd need $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 million to get a bunch of scouts out there, trustable scouts, and then not be biased, right? And that's what they're supposed to be. And what do? They have guys. They have. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to go too crazy on the guys that are the quote insiders for Oklahoma.
On 3 is having.
I'm not impressed that much usually with them. I'm not always impressed with those guys. So
when On 3 is having personal sit downs with Mario Cristobal and writing article about how he's bringing Miami back. I would tell
you, I really like what On 3 does. I think that they're a little glad handy when it comes to
early.
That's kind of what Piquel does. You know what I mean?
They're early too.
Right. Got to wait and see with the 5-star D lineman. GA trying to take them from OU outside of Stone.
What did Kim say? 247.
They are.
Sit reps.
They are. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and 247 has been, it felt like it hadn't been like that lately. Like
there's
felt a little more
I know
trustable.
Miami's been pissed off at 247 for about 3 years.
Miami?
They're convinced that every time somebody chooses Miami, they drop.
They're the tropical depression, so it's just a sad fan base.
You think we get 2 quarterbacks this year? This is a good question right here. I like this one, Jimmy. It looks like I don't know, man. It's starting to look like you may. Apparently, the kid was there at the Champion Barbecue as well.
Take this one over real fast. I'll be right back.
Go for it. And so it looks like that's a possibility, to be honest with you. And I'll tell you, it's not a bad problem to have. Here's the deal. And I'm not saying that I think that Hawkins is going to be great. I think he's going to be real good. And I think that, and I do feel like this is becoming a situation. There's no way that it stays that sustainable for all these guys to continue just bouncing around, even if you're a quarterback, right? Yeah, and of course they want to fluff up the teams that they like. Yeah, and I mean, they're the teams that are paying them and stuff like that. I mean, listen, man, it behooves a coach to get a top-rated class, right? And even if it's by percentage points, which a lot of it is, but look at the way that the Alabama jump was last year after the A&M deal, right? They went, what did they get? 15 top 100 guys, 9 5-star guys. All right. And as far as that, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen here either way. But here's what I'll tell you is I'm still now Sooner Cowboys, before we even get started on this one. Can I do a field on that QB one day? Yeah, yes. Actually, I'll pull him up here in just a second. Give me just 1 second and I'll pull him up. Jones? Is that who you're talking about? Yeah. We'll pull him up in a minute. What I would tell you is I still feel like we already know that Stoney is I feel like he's getting closer to being a lock there with Oklahoma. Now, is he a complete lock? No. We're not going to continue discussing that. But I feel like if he does make that jump, then you start seeing these dominoes fall. But here's the other thing. The Dominic McKinley thing is getting interesting because of the fact that, just like Cody was talking about, LSU's kind of stepping on their own so-and-so right now, right?
Yeah. They're in a mess.
And
3 players decommit this
seems
weekend.
like it was an assistant or something. I mean, I don't know exactly what happened, but somehow they pissed off the parents or something like that. And they've been really loving they were at the Champion. They apparently loved it. They love the whole soul mission stuff that they're recruiting with. That's big. Again, this is something that there's a reason why it was working at Clemson. It does take time, and you have to realize that you're not going to get every one of them. But the chances are they could get 3 or 4 of these guys. JJ was telling us last week that he for whatever reason, he believes that Nigel Smith is coming to OU. He's saying it. And he was hearing that from Aaron Donald. Okay, because they work together some. I don't know how real that is or not, but JJ he doesn't just throw stuff out there. But he knows Aaron Donald. He knows a lot of the folks there in the Pitt program. JJ's a great creator, by the way, too. That being said, a lot of this stuff is going to happen, and you have to expect it. You have to expect it. Now, but if you get 2, it's a successful go at it because of what you did in the portal. If you get 2 of those guys, if you get 3, it's so gravy. And I'm with you on this. Again, I like Okoye. I like JJA. I like McKinley. You know how I feel about Nigel Smith. He's my favorite recruit in the country at any position. And David Stone is right there with him. But I think that the attention is probably fake. I mean, they're not going to ever stop giving the attention to David because they want him. But I think that their real focus right now is on who else can we get. They need to make sure that they lock up Williams Waneri,
Real fast, Kim.
Go ahead.
She has a comment. It's 2 comments down here.
Kim is Kim's a
PJ,
guy.
the PJ comment.
PJ, where we at?
PJ went from non-existent to a high 5-star after OU did the legwork and offered the kid.
That's right.
Now, the reason that is,
he went
Tim,
from 3 to 5 in 2 months.
Now, the reason that is that's not a Georgia or Bama bump. What that is they committed. So he committed to them, and then a bunch. And
he started going to camps, and people started seeing him more.
Yeah, that, and maybe some scouts said, "Well, why did OU take this kid, and why are they so excited about it? Let's go check his film out because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of kids out there, right?"
Yeah, and that's the whole thing with Darian. We were talking about Darian a lot with my guy from San Antonio that got screwed.
Yeah,
it happened.
And we talk about it with the Florida, with Billy Napier. He has his evaluation process is top level, and I feel the same way for BV, right? And they're coming, Matt. It's still early. It's still early. Gator fans were saying the same thing a week ago.
Yeah, well, these guys are not committed anywhere yet. And, if I don't know how many, again, I don't think a whole lot of you guys are Twitter or on Twitter much. If you do have it, Stoney last week he reiterated more than once that that there has been no silent commitments, that he is going to take all of his visits.
Yeah.
It sounds like he may be going to go. Sounds like he may be going to go to he already went to Michigan State, and it sounds like he's got one more stop. Florida.
He went to Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to Florida.
If it's not OU, it will be Florida.
It would be Miami. A Florida
Miami?
school. Mm-hmm.
No, he won't go to Miami.
I think if he's going anywhere else, it would be Oregon, but I don't think he's going anywhere else.
No, I'm saying if he doesn't commit to OU, he will be at Florida.
Is that right, Eric?
I'm telling you, that's just facts. From everything I've heard, he really likes Florida, but I think he wants to stay close to home.
Well, he wants to go back home. Yeah,
back home. Yeah, because he was at IMG.
IMG. He's still going to be at IMG. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the doubles. There's a double. The reason that he went to IMG was because his mother was worried about the company he was keeping.
When you have a coach like BV, I don't see that being a problem, right? And I'm giving you, look, Florida would love to have him, right? And I'm going to be 100% honest.
Of course, who doesn't? The guy's a top 10 recruit, bro.
Right. So I would love to have him, but I'm going to tell you.
I don't think so.
It's 80-20. It's 80% OU and 20% Florida. And if he doesn't go to OU,
I think that Michigan State used to be in it. I think that was his second favorite. But I think same thing that happened with the kid that went to Oregon.
Fire right now. They can't keep coaches.
Lost all their defensive line coaches. Pretty much left the program.
Yeah.
So Mel's kind of trying to hold it together, and I think that they've got the money for him. I mean, they're not going to get a bunch of 5-star guys at Michigan State. That's just not going to happen.
I don't think they get one.
Yeah, it's rare, and they're good. I mean, they've been good, but in the past, they're not right now. I mean, it's a bad situation right now at Michigan State.
Yeah, but why not Florida if not OU?
No, I just think that the biggest bag, and it's the people that are being the most aggressive is Oregon. I just think
can't say Miami right now because Miami has no money.
And Miami is being aggressive with him too. Yeah, but the thing is that he went on an OV to Miami and he left it to come back and go to the Champion Barbecue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was there for a little while.
It's not good.
He said when he talked to Brandon, he loved Michigan State like he loves OU. I think that he has definitely made some friends. I don't think that you're wrong. I don't think that you're wrong.
Yeah, I don't think Michigan State's a threat.
I just think the problem is, I don't think that they're not a threat, Cody. They were the threat. I don't think that they're the same threat that they were 2 months ago.
3 months ago.
I think that I still feel like he likes Mel a lot. And I think that he likes East Lansing. I think it's a good college town. It's, I could see him, underdog stuff, things like that. It's cold. It's definitely cold. And he's been in Florida for a while. And this is exactly the whole thing is the signing day is when it matters. So it doesn't really matter. I think that in the end,
Hank, even after signing day, it still matters.
Yeah, you're right.
Because we saw it last year, right, with Rashada. The ink dried, and it still wasn't a sure deal.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
if I'm an OU fan,
chicks in Texas used it like kryptonite. Hey, listen, man. And I like Okoye too. I think he's going to be really good. I want to see him being you got to realize we're not going to get them all. We're not. But listen, if you end up flipping a guy like McKinley, who's been LSU the whole way, right? If you get Nigel's, the guy, I feel like you're going to end up with the guys you're supposed to have.
Who?
Dominic McKinley. I think he's another top 15 5-star defensive tackle. Stone's going to be a Sooner. I agree with you there. I think that you're going to get the guys that you're supposed to get, and you're probably going to get at least 2 and likely 3. I feel like 3 of those guys, and that's huge, guys. That's huge, particularly if now again, how do you hold them? How do you think, Kim? We talked about this the last time we were in here. How do you hold on to these guys? You go perform this season, because where I think last year might have played into your hands. I think he does like Texas a little bit too. I think you're right. I think last year played into your hands if you're Oklahoma a little bit, because the defense was so bad and you're looking at kids that are like, shit, I'll go in there and play right now.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can only do that so long.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I was like, now it helped him, and now they need to flip it and they need to play well. Now, are they going to be a top 10 defense this year? It's probably not likely. Okay. If they can get in that top 50 or 60, they're in good position. Right. And I do believe that they're going to get Stone and Waneri. And if they get Nigel, again, JJ's calling it a lock. And I mean, him talking to Aaron Donald, and if Aaron Donald was saying that to him, or that was the impression that he's getting, he's basically saying it's a lock. And he's not one to do that. He's not one to just say stuff like that. Right.
Yeah. Colin Simmons is in between Texas and Florida right now.
He is.
Sooner Cowboy. And that came from Miles Graham, our 2024 commit.
Right, and that's what he's talking about, that he's trying to talk McKinley into Texas as well. So, because Colin, that was the quarterback that was with Florida there for a minute, right?
No, that's the defensive end, Colin
Oh,
Simmons.
okay. Colin, okay, right. No, and here's what you're going to got to remember. Yeah, okay, I could see this. Stone, Smith, Waneri, and McKinley. Probably not going to get 4, but you could knock off either one of these. I mean,
Matt, I agree too. They're hot on the trail for him.
Who's that?
Colin.
Yeah. What did you say? Reggie Pearson Jr. said the Sooners will have a top 5 defense. Yeah. Kids say stuff.
I don't think LSU's going to get Simmons. They're under probation. I don't think they can play in a bowl game right now. Apparently,
and I have heard what, this is what Sooner Cowboys was talking about, was that he's hearing that he kind of likes Texas also. It wouldn't be surprising to me, but I know from what I'm hearing is his parents really love OU. They're not enamored with LSU at all right now, which is wild because they're from Louisiana. And you're not supposed to let those guys get out, but I don't know what's happened there.
Okay.
That they've kind of turned off the family somehow.
Can I just say this?
Go.
My stepmom is a LSU alum, and her family are big boosters. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
And they're not enamored with LSU. They're sick of it. They're sick of being in the headlines for cheating. They're tired of it.
Hey,
they get the greasiest coaches in there that you've ever heard of, and they're tired of it. Yeah, I get that they're
that's everywhere, dude. It's just not everybody is so freaking blatant about it, And like there are some programs that are not going to do it that way because they're not in a hurry to win. And I would tell you that that's how Venables is. As much as everybody wants him to be in a big hurry, and because of this schedule, you kind of have to get a little ahead of schedule this year. You need to win 10 games probably.
The problem with LSU is they've had 3 coaches back to back with all. Of
course, they're cheating,
problems.
Dude. They don't even have to cheat when you're winning already. They were cheating to get to here where they are.
Who's cheating?
He's saying that you can't tell me that Georgia's not.
What are they cheating about? They won back-to-back national championships.
But they don't have to cheat. That's what I was saying. The cheating came before because that's when they had to do it. And it wasn't necessarily cheating. It was more.
Okay, hold on.
It was more negative recruiting off of information he had all in Alabama.
Can we say this about Georgia? Can I get 2 seconds for Georgia? Listen, Mark Richt recruited well for Georgia. His knack was he couldn't win the big ones. He would lose stupid games against Florida that Florida should never have even been on the field with them.
Mm-hmm.
He had top 5 recruiting classes, could not get it done. Kirby walks into a fully built race team, and all they needed was a driver.
Yes.
Right? That's it.
Okay.
That's Georgia. They're not cheating any more than anybody else.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm so tired of the cheating thing. The cheating thing is such
it's
bullshit.
Not even really
We're in
cheating,
NIL.
No.
We're all paying to play. Oklahoma's paying to play. SMU's paying to
yell
play.
At my audience. Do not yell at my audience.
I'm just saying. Everybody's paying to play. Don't say that Georgia's cheating. They won back-to-back national championships.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. No. And I said this. I believe that if you had that going on, it was probably earlier on. And I don't know that it was cheating as much as he was negative recruiting against Bama on information that he had. Right?
Well, that's what you would do. If me and you were head coaches, we'd negative recruit too. Yeah, that program doesn't have their shit together. Yeah, I worked with him. He ain't nothing.
Right.
We're salesmen.
Well, the information that they had gotten before. You're talking about Andy Bass in here. Is that who you were talking about, Mars? Andy Bass. That kid is ripped up, bro. Ripped up.
Listen, I'm telling you this. If me and Jason were on the recruiting trail for, it doesn't matter, Northwestern, Montana State, man. It doesn't matter. We're going to negative recruit. We're going to be like, listen, we were taught by the best, Coach Roybal, and that guy ain't shit. This guy ain't shit. We're the best. Yeah. It's sales.
Are you talking about Bass? Right? Are you talking about Bass or Boosie? Terry Boosie? Oh. From Timpson, Texas? Whoa, I didn't notice that he was a 5-star. Holy crap. And he's warming up to him? Nice. Okay. I was thinking you were talking about Bass, but he's not he's a 3. But that guy's ripped up, man, and he's also a quarterback. A lot of money. Fun. Yeah, listen. Hey, look, here's the deal. There's definitely, first and foremost, we got to remember that this isn't, Cody is right about that. It's not cheating anymore. And not to say that the shit wasn't going on anyway. It was.
Everybody's doing it. Everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, Boosie.
Were doing it. Texas
I was watching his video the other day. Whose video were y'all wanting to watch? Y'all wanted to watch Jones's video.
Okie Light was paying players. Okay, guys. Okie Light was paying players. Not enough, but they were paying. They were paying something.
Okie.
I'm sorry. I'm just. That shit just irritates me. Like I get. Listen, and I hate really Georgia.
You know, here's what I don't like. Here's what I don't like that I see a lot more of. I think right now, and it's the problem that a lot of people I think are having, right, is that
they've won 2 national championships on weak schedules.
Well, that too, but I'm talking about with the recruiting stuff. It's all this. Well, the Lincoln Riley shit, where he's freaking tampering with everybody. Everybody.
That shit's gonna be. I will tell you, they're on that. That shit is a problem, and they're on it.
They're not on it. They're not on it.
Yeah, after I say they're on it, but LSU just got hit with like their 27th probation, so I can't say they're on it either. Tampering's an issue. The famous quarterback from UAB, is it UAB? The Blazers? Is that UAB?
Yes,
the Blazers.
That's Trent Dilfer.
Dilfer just had an article about that. I read it today and he said, let me catch one of you coaches call my players. I will air it out.
Dude, he talks a big freaking game. What is he gonna do? He's a new guy.
Out.
So everybody talks. Who cares? Hold on real quick. I'm going to have to check on 3, I think. Because 247 doesn't have it.
Hey guys, and shameless plug, if you have not subscribed to Hightop Sports,
dude, their show is so cool.
It's fun. It's Pat McAfee-esque. You're gonna hear a couple F-bombs. It's gonna get a little weird, but it's a fun time.
They hear those too.
Yeah, it's a fun time, guys. And we're just trying to grow the channel. We got the NFL stuff. We cover everything NFL, if you're into that too. So, real fast when I had a second when he was checking the stats there. I'm just looking
for Samaj here. I just want to get his. Okay, here's his junior highlights. Let me pull it up.
Kim, I'm going to be looking for you next stream.
I love it the way they make you watch commercials on these sites.
It does look good.
It does look okay, but it's never that good. Come on.
It's not. It's KFC.
Listen, if they actually if they were like, let's take a look at him. Ooh, let's go back and see this one again. All right, Samaj Jones.
Let's see.
He can run. Oh, that was a good play. Wow.
Is he a running back?
He's no, he can throw it too, man. He reminds you a little bit of Jalen. Oh, and he was getting smoked when he made that throw.
So what does he play?
He's a quarterback.
Okay.
This is the second quarterback that we're looking at right now, apparently.
Oh, that reminds me of our running back.
Bro, yeah, but he's all around athlete. So here's the thing. Apparently he was heavy on Oklahoma before, but he had committed to Penn State. He can throw it, man. Look at this kid. Wow,
we got a
man.
kid just like it.
Hartley Dykes had a $1,500 check account, no matter how many checks were written and drove past. Yeah. Oh, here comes Hank. He's coming after you. That they're going to be the worst in the state.
Who?
F you.
Hank, stop it. You think we're going to be worse than Miami?
He does.
No.
He believes.
Hank, I love you like a
Look
brother,
at this kid. Hey, man, look at this kid's arm, man. Look at this kid's arm. And he's got awareness. He's gone.
Yeah, it reminds me of the kid you got now. The second stringer.
Jackson Arm.
Yep. They got a mold. They know what they like.
But okay, so Hawkins is good as well, right? You think this guy's going to go to WVU? That'd be a terrible thing for him to do. He could have went to Penn State. Why would he go to West Virginia?
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's a dime.
Yep. I think he could do it, man. He reminds you a little bit of AR, huh?
Yeah. A little Lagway-esque, too.
A little Lagway-esque. I was thinking that, too.
I don't like that.
Hank, you and Jimmy, what do you guys think about that receiver choosing Texas Tech over Texas? It's kind of funny, huh?
Might be covering them more too. Oh, that's a dime there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be covering them more because I'm 2 hours, hour and a half away, and they don't have that much coverage. And we're gonna be covering the entire league.
I'll deep dive into some Texas Tech. I don't care.
You're welcome to it, man. I'm gonna be deep diving into Oklahoma most of the year, so
might be your Texas Tech guy.
Bring it.
Since I'm doing NFL stuff, I'm not doing Gator stuff right now.
Right. All right.
Ooh.
You guys seen enough?
Yeah, man, that looks good.
Yeah, listen, I think that he's pretty good, right? He was committed to Penn State. He has decommitted from Penn State. So he is definitely, and Nobody really thought that this guy was going to be really in the picture, because once they offered Hawkins and his dad playing here and playing in the NFL, they figured, that's it. And then he did go ahead and commit to Penn State. And I do know that he was looking at
good offensive scheme they're running down there.
Hey, I know what you're talking about here. You're talking about DG here, always taking shots at him, man. Oh, Dylan Gabriel catches strays from old Jimmy in here. Catches strays. Talking about money. Yeah, listen. But here's what I would say. And I don't know that this kid is better or worse. I mean, we can go and watch Hawkins next if y'all want to. This kid is fast. I'll give him this. He can ball. Philly kid.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm-hmm. He can play. He can definitely play.
Like that.
Yeah, he hasn't fully committed. He hasn't made it official. His dad's talking about it, man.
They're almost running like an air raid.
He's going to Tech, Sooner Cowboy. He is. Yeah, he's going to Tech.
Yeah, they run an air raid. Is what they're running.
Now, I know that Jay's been hearing that the kid from Odessa, Texas may be flipping because he was at I haven't gotten that feeling yet from the guys that I know around here.
Do you cover high school ball?
We're going to be covering quite a bit of it this year. But, I mean, me kind of indirectly. I'll be watching some of it, but I'm going to be watching Darian play, and I'll be going to do.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, you know what? I got to tell you. I got to tell you, Hank, that they just had a guy that, I mean, he's identifying the guys that are gems, like this freaking quarterback that was at Elite 11 that has everybody freaked out because he was a 3-star and he won 2. What was that kid's name? Man, you got me. Let me tell you.
He won what?
He won two of the different stations at Elite 11, and he was a 3-star guy. He left there. Everybody was saying that he was the most impressive guy that wasn't expected to be.
Oh, so he didn't shine past the other. He didn't shine past Lagway and.
He was better than Lagway. Yes, he was better than Lagway. He wasn't better than Raiola, and he probably wasn't better than the guy that won it, the Alabama kid. But
what's his name?
It's I'm looking at it right here. 1 second, please.
Now these are stations on a camp. It doesn't mean that they're.
Yeah, Wilt Fong has Micah predicted. You also have. Let me see real quick. And so far, Texas Tech is looking at. So Ivan Carrion apparently is also. He's a 4-star according to 247. He's pretty close to a 5 though. 6'6", 195 from Odessa. Apparently, he's there's a chance that he may be coming to Oklahoma, but I don't know, man. With the quarterbacks they're bringing in, but let me find.
Hawkins did terrible at Elite 11. Is what Jimmy Satterfield said.
Yeah, Will Hammond is who we're talking about quarterback-wise.
Will
Hammond, yes. From Hutto, Texas. He was a 3-star. He's probably going to go to a 4. He's almost got to go to a 4. He should because he lit it. He won 2 places, and he had the biggest arm, most velocity. So that's a big deal.
That doesn't mean everything, guys. We had a guy last year that had a Brett Favre cannon. And it doesn't mean anything.
He looked good, man. He looked good. He had control of the offense. He looked good. I mean, I'm telling you that this is, and I'm not telling you that they're for sure going to get everybody. What it tells you is just the fact that they are actually in these battles with Oklahoma and Texas, with Oklahoma and Texas leaving for the SEC next year, and they're getting these guys. Listen to me. This is a big deal for Texas Tech. I covered Texas Tech for a long time, and I'm telling you, these are not the kind of kids that go to Lubbock usually. Now, does that mean that they shouldn't? No, not at all. I think that Jamie is a very, very good coach. I think he is well respected all around the state. He's won multiple state championships in high school. And then he was with Matt Rule for a long time, and then was with he did a year with Aranda, was associate head coach, got the Texas Tech job. But Matt Rule is kind of his mentor. This guy's a good coach, man. He's a good coach, and he's doing it. And I mean, to even be in the room, and again, I know that as Oklahoma fans, and you too as a Gator fan, we're kind of spoiled in being able to get some of these 4 and 5 star, high 5-star guys.
Absolutely.
This is not what they do at Tech. We know that.
Can I ask you something? Do you look at stars, or do you look at the player average?
I want to look at the player average more than anything else. I just want to see what they're talking about. But in the end, I don't care about the stars so much if I can see it on film.
Because now, the player average
I don't think more. I'm not one of these people that doesn't believe in their system and what they're doing.
Not stars, recruiting class versus player average. Like,
yeah,
sometimes you can only sign 19 kids, and you're not going to be top 5, right? But
of course,
all 19 kids are top.
No,
150.
and that's why Texas Tech isn't going to stay in the top 10 probably, because of the fact that they only need X amount. Right. They're in on Micah Hudson. They're in on another receiver, and then carry on obviously, but. There's another guy apparently that they're in on as well. Receiver.
But if you're running a 92, 93% player average, then you're up there with the big dogs like Florida. You're recruiting
Absolutely.
really well. Yeah, you might be 19th, but it's really not 19th. Guys,
because not every year. Here's the thing. That's what we talked about. What it has to be is
that
the
COVID year really messed everything up.
Every 2 or 3 years, you need to be top 5, top 10 for sure, top 10. But top 5, if you can fit in 1 or 2 times, they had some top 5 classes, man. I don't know. Maybe that first one is that what you're thinking about?
Oh my God, Clemson's so wore out. Golly, man. Why you bring up Clemson? Clemson's wore out.
Are you insane, bro? They have one of the best quarterbacks in the country. They're picking up major players.
I just saw it. DJ Ugaluga for the last 2.5, 3 years. I saw one of the best quarterback in the country is what he did. He did nothing.
They had a bad offensive coordinator.
That's what I don't think
DJ U is bad. The dude was the number 1 quarterback in the country. No, he wasn't bad.
Okay, so my point exactly. They have fallen off. They don't get the defensive
line. Their offensive coordinator.
Jason, they don't get the defensive line like they used to.
That's not true. That's not true.
Okay, if it's not true, then they're not. Okay, then they're not producing the defensive linemen that they used to.
Brother, they've still. They lost 3 games and 2 games last year. Right, we're not talking about a huge drop.
ACC.
It's still we're not talking about a huge drop.
You should lose 1.
Stop.
Maybe Florida State's hot.
They lost the bowl game. Brother.
I'm sorry. I'm just not. Clemson's so god dang boring.
Hey, this is
Dabo.
This is the wrong place for that, because Oklahoma is trying to be Clemson right now.
Why?
That's exactly what this is exact. He's doing everything just like Dabo does it.
So you want like 1 national championship and like
they've got 2 national championships. They've got 2 national championships.
They had a world record for a quarterback. They had a world record. A phenom.
2 quarterbacks won.
They had a phenom. Okay, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't go to Clemson, how many national championships do they lose or win? They'll win a single one.
Deshaun Watson won the first one, bro.
Okay, so they had Deshaun, and then they had Lawrence, right?
Yeah. Yeah, listen.
Then they had DJ, and you think it's going to get any better after DJ?
Cade Klubnik? Yes, I do. He beat up on Quinn Ewers in the state championship in Texas.
I just don't. They don't appease me. They're not flashy. They're not fun.
Have you watched Cade? Have you watched Cade throw the ball?
Yeah, I watched.
You got to see him.
Bowl game,
bro. He's good. He's a freshman last year. He was a freshman, true freshman. They were trying not to bring him in.
It's like Tennessee to me. Like you flash up every now and then. It's like, oh yeah, you're great.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you on that.
And look.
Guys, let me ask you a question. What do you think that BV would give up for that?
For what?
For that national championship. to win one your second year and then to go win a couple as, with Clemson, but always want to come back to OU. He waited on this job. He waited on this opportunity right here, and he was cleaning up Lincoln's mess.
Down,
let's not forget.
Billy. Okay.
Let's not.
Okay,
Jimmy. Boy, Jimmy.
Easy.
Jimmy's he's on.
Yeah,
he's on
look at Sunbelt's Billy blue chip average. Okay, Jimmy, look at that.
How many of them stay, Cody? Before you
okay, go look at it last year. Look at it last year. 92%.
Is this the same thing he did last year?
Is it? No, it's a better class. It's even better.
I'm asking you, did he pull the same hard sell on all those kids last year?
Yeah, absolutely.
He did. Okay.
And the only one he lost was Rashada, which was a flake, which we all know is a flake. Because his dad was running the recruiting, just like the last QB that went to Ole Miss. His dad got a job as a coaching spot. It's the same thing. It's flake-ass quarterbacks.
I get it, bro. I get it. All right.
And quarterbacks can be flaky, right?
Yeah, they can. Here's the deal. I feel like I'm going to tell you now, if I like anybody from the ACC, it's not Florida State. It's Clemson. They have a better defense.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And Jordan Travis might be a little more seasoned. I'm not positive that he's better. I don't think.
If he can stay healthy, Jordan Travis is a problem.
If he stays healthy, though, and when has he?
Never.
When has he? He doesn't stay healthy. That's his problem. Right.
Lamar Jackson-esque, right?
He throws the ball better than Lamar.
But same thing, right? Like same thing. Like if he can stay healthy, he could. I mean, golly.
You guys are taking shots, bro. You guys are taking shots at you. You got too wound up with them earlier. Started yelling at my audience. Now they're coming back at you.
I get it. 93%,
Now they're coming back at you, bro.
Blue chip average. What do you want from me, Hank? Golly. I've had 5 or 6 Busch Lights. What do you want from me? I ate good dinner, and then I had a couple scotches at dinner. What do you want?
We love you, but nobody. You can relax. Everybody's just messing with you. They love you. They love you, bro.
I get it.
Come on.
No, but for real though, I do want to ask you this.
He hasn't stayed healthy, but here's the beauty of this, Mars. If he doesn't stay healthy this season, they have more than just a warm body on the bench, right?
I think DG stays healthy this year.
And this is exactly look, this is what we're talking about. You recruit your problems, and this is the absolute truth. This is the absolute truth. You recruit your own problems.
Because when DG was not healthy, it was a problem, right?
They screwed. If there was anything that they really messed up, right? If there was anything they messed up, it was that they handed the job to Dylan whenever he came on. They let it be known that the job was his instead of saying, "Hey, you can come in and compete with him." That screwed it. It was just not good, right?
Love you, Hank.
Look, well, not as good without BV. It's still a top 20. Yeah, and they're still getting guys. I mean, look, they're the ones that got Sammy Brown.
Will Booty ever play? Probably not.
Probably not
behind that lineup. He'll transfer out.
I'm hoping he does. Listen, if Booty ever plays, this is a bad thing. Something just went way wrong. Unless he's really improved and they don't want to, for some reason, play Jackson, but I don't know why you would do that.
If I'm Booty, I'm transferring.
Yeah, he should.
I'm going to West Virginia.
Is he that good? I don't know. We're going to have to find out.
What do you mean? Mertz got a job at Florida. Is he that good?
It's true. He's probably better than Mertz. Yeah.
I mean, or equal to.
Go.
You know what I mean? Like, why not? Yeah, you can go to. Listen, guys. There's.
Listen. Bottom line is he didn't show up for the Red River game, and he was supposed to. There was apparently an eye injury or something like that going on. I don't know exactly what it was, but there's different talk out there. What we do know was the other guys were not ready. I think that they should have played Nick Evers, but I think that the quarterback position was what they did. The only thing that they didn't do great. I think Dylan played well. I don't think that Dylan is Caleb Williams. And that hurts him because of the fact that, you immediately get thrown up to Caleb, not to mention the other guys that played for Lincoln while he was here. So even though they were a top 15 offense last season, He still takes a lot of shots. Jimmy loves to do it, right?
Sooner Cowboy, I get. Hold on, real fast. I get that they get good defensive linemen, but when they were winning the national championships, they had elite defensive linemen. I mean, that defensive line was like Georgia's. They got good ones. I'm not saying they don't get good ones. I'm saying the difference between. Right. Okay, guys? Do you think that Stetson Bennett would have won anything at any other program? Put him into Pitt, West Virginia.
Yeah, they do have
Utah. Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Bro, no, that was the perfect thing for Stetson's a different animal, though. That's not who. And Dylan Gabriel's not Stetson Bennett, by the way. I don't think he's that guy.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Freaking walk on? That's not who Dylan is. He won the freshman job, the starter as a freshman over there. But is he that
I'm not,
guy? Look,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the defensive line.
Real quick. Hold on. Give me a minute. We cannot lose 49-0 and go 6-7. Of course not. Okay. Here's something I would ask you. I was watching Pate just like everybody else earlier, right? Okay.
I didn't watch them. I watched them last week, but not this week.
But I was watching them earlier. There was a couple of things, and what he brought up was, what kind of way that would send you into the SEC if you took another L, and any kind of L is the way I kind of took it against Texas. Now, Texas, mind you, has not beaten Oklahoma 2 times in a row since 2008 or some crap like that. It just doesn't happen. Now, on top of that, we all know that freaking Sark is not, he doesn't adjust. He forgets to adjust. You saw it again against Washington. The guy's never won 10 games. The guys, give me a minute. Let me finish this. And then, so then, look, whether they win or not, my question to you guys, and I want you guys to think about it, put it in the comments, wherever. You can throw it on Twitter, you can send it to the email. As a matter of fact, you can actually jump onto our website and leave me a voicemail if you want to. There's a little button, you click it, and you can say whatever the hell you want. It doesn't even tell you a time limit. You can get it out there. I want to talk about this on Tuesday. What kind of loss, what happens if Oklahoma was to lose again in the Red River? If they get beat badly, does it matter? Or if it's a close game, do you care? Let me know what you would feel. What's acceptable if you're Oklahoma? If you lose to Texas, what's acceptable there? Okay. I want to know that. I want to know what you guys feel about that, because Sarkisian's stubborn. But the bottom line is here's the thing. We know this is just like Coach was talking about. It's like we've talked about this a lot with Professor here and everybody else. It doesn't just come together in 1 year. And let's not forget that this was a mess. It was a mess here.
Rip it down to
they lost a bunch of games. They lost a bunch of games by 3, and they lost a bunch by 7. So it makes it worse, right? Because you were so close to so many games, and you could have seen them winning 9 or 10 games even. I get it. But let's think about something, and then you have to realize that, I think even if they go and win 10 games, which I kind of feel like they should, right? That's okay for wouldn't you rather get Texas have the hype? Wouldn't you rather them have, because this is year 2. He's still been cleaning it up. There could still be some cleanup things you got to do. Now, with this schedule, they need to win 10. But does that mean that they go into the SEC the year after that and win 10 again? Okay, it would not be acceptable to get blown out. But that tells me that you would say they could lose, just not getting blown out, right?
Real fast. Sooner Cowboy, Stetson Bennett for the Heisman.
He was in New York, bro. He was in New York.
Listen,
I'll tell you this. He was a Cowboy. Listen, I think that the dude is not as good as DG, but a lot of these guys like to bang on DG a little bit. I get it. Some lumps are
what, Sooner Cowboy. If I promise you right now on this live, take the receipt. If he becomes anything in the NFL, which he won't at all, he's gonna be a backup at best.
He doesn't have enough.
If he becomes anything in the NFL, I will get Sooner Cowboy tattooed on my butt. or a tramp stamp, whatever.
Okay, so now we have to. Now we got to root for him actively, right, Sooner Cowboy? Now we have to root for the guy.
I will get a tramp stamp, a Sooner Cowboy.
Made for YouTube TV, right, guys? Made for YouTube.
Yes,
TV.
absolutely. Because he's nothing. He's a bum. He's 26. He's a
drunk.
Won 2
national championships, bro. That's 2 more than freaking your boy did last year.
Okay, with the defense,
he went toe to toe with CJ Stroud. He went toe to toe with CJ Stroud, bro.
Yeah, and they took a cheap shot on the world's best receiver.
I'm asking these guys questions now. They're starting to answer them, and I want to hear this. Losing to Texas depends on the rest of the season. A close loss to Texas, but an 11-1 with the conference championship appearance in a bowl game is vast. Okay, that's a lot of expectations there, Miles. Okay, yeah,
Hank, you can design the tramp stamp. I don't care. It ain't
absolutely, gonna hell yeah, design it. It's got to be Sooner Cowboys. I mean, that's Ben Affleck smoking a cigarette, right, with the OU shirt on. I love it. Better than Jake Fromm. Yes, he was.
Are you a Sooners fan or a Georgia fan? I'm kind of concerned.
No, we're definitely rooting for a Georgia Bulldog for sure. I mean, listen, we got to make this happen.
We'll pull a live up. I'll fly him out, and we can do a whole live of me.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. Okay.
Sooners, Cowboys,
tramp stamp. And didn't matter. The kids is BVs this year. Okay. Now, and here's where I'm at on this. What I want to this is something we need to get into talking about. I want to talk about this more on Tuesday, and it is early. But here's what I'll tell you is that I believe in this. I believe in this program. I don't believe that. I know that you don't really know until you know when it comes to a guy that hasn't been a head coach before. I understand that. The thing is he's been around enough to know better. You know what I mean? And he still does have Stoops around to freaking mentor him. He still has Dabo on the phone to mentor him, the guys that he needs to talk to.
They talk. And
I think he improved throughout I saw somebody that was talking about if you see the way that they played in the Florida State game. Yes, they lost it, but the defense is just that. They just couldn't stop anybody. But they weren't getting stopped either. So, look, I think that if you see Dylan go through and get rid of the ball in some certain situations, he can clean up a few of those little kind of things. That's really all you really need from them. Now, when it comes to, and I get it that, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. And look, I love them too, man. So have I. I mean, I grew up on them just like that. I mean, look, man, my favorite player, let's see.
Oh, we see it now, Sooner Cowboy.
Who you got?
2 hours away from UGA. I get it.
Yeah. So he knows what he's seeing over there, right? Yeah.
I get it.
So and I get that. But here's the thing, and what I want everybody to remember is that this is never going to be the way that Brent recruits. He's never just going to throw money at the subject. He's never going to do that. If they're not a fit, he's not going to do it.
What they say is more money, more problems, and I believe that.
He said it on The Athletic that if you are a pain in the ass in freaking recruiting, you're going to be a pain in the ass in my locker room, and I'm not dealing with drama. I'm not going to do it. And so
absolutely,
this is what he believes. This is what he wants. It's the same thing. I saw something on Dabo in The Athletic last week that they were talking about Dabo that he's not really worried about his quarterback situation. He got a good quarterback for this last cycle. This one, he lost out on Rayola, and he lost out on, there was one other kid that he offered, and neither one of them. So he's going to try to probably flip them, but if he doesn't, he'll get a project kid because he's got 2 number 1 guys.
And you bring that up, and that's very interesting because last year Florida could have got Cormani McClain. He called back after Miami, and you know this too. Because we talked about this, and you've heard it from multiple sources. He called back to Florida and said, I made a mistake, and I want to be a Florida Gator, and da-da-da. And then Florida said, no, we don't want you.
Yeah.
So where does he go? Colorado.
No, I get it.
And I'm not knocking on Colorado. I'm just saying Florida could have had the number one.
If that's really the case, I'm going to tell you that he's out of his damn mind. There's no way that you let the number 1 corner in the country walk away for nothing.
He's a cancer.
Oh, bullshit. That's I've never heard that from anybody else. I'm not going to let you say that on here. We don't do that. You don't do that on your show either. Come on now. We're not going to call him a cancer. You don't know that about Cormani McClain. You don't know that. Don't do that. Let's not do that on this show.
You go from Miami and you flip last second, just like Rashada. You go from Miami, you try to flip to Florida.
So Travis Hunter flipped on Florida State to go to JSU.
That's different.
Why is it different?
Because Florida State never had a pipe dream.
Yes, they did. He was committed to them the whole way until signing day.
All I'm saying is that Florida had a chance at Cormani McClain, and Billy Napier said, no, we don't want him.
That's dumb. Why would you do that?
Why is that dumb?
He's a 5-star. He was the number 1 corner in the country, and you needed help there.
And he trolled
us. Because he flipped?
Because he flipped, correct.
Okay.
So why take him back? And BV would have done the same thing. And
don't say he wouldn't. I don't know that. I don't know. Look, Peyton
I know Bowen, that. He just showed it. He just showed it.
Peyton Bowen went to Oregon. Or said Oregon. And then
he just showed it the other day with the JUCO kid.
A JUCO kid is a lot different than the number 1 player at your position.
Well, if you're gonna stand on your line, you stand on your line, and BV would have done the same thing, and you know it, and you would have been taking the same.
But I don't know that he would have. Here's the deal. I don't know that's the case. I don't know that that's the case.
And guess what?
Because I haven't seen
Cormani McClain might be a 5-star, right? And he might be the number 1 DB on 247 and on 3. But it may not have been Florida's number 1 DB. Their big board is different.
Oh, he was the number 1.
He got blown out, Darren.
As a sophomore, he had more interceptions. Nobody tested him the entire senior year, bro.
He got blown out. Real. He got blown out during the All-Star game. He had to sit out because he was hurting, cramping up.
Okay.
After he got walked.
It's hot as shit. It was in the middle of the damn summer and in Florida.
Ain't nobody else. Jackson, our other DB, didn't sit out. He hung with them wide receivers.
It happens sometimes. Don't
Mazel blazed
he's
him.
The player's coach. You're right about that. But he's hard on. It's like what Coach was talking about, how hard he was on Deion Sanders, right? But they also loved him a lot.
Don't get all caught up in the ratings because they're not always right.
Come on, man. They're more right than they're not. You're going to tell me that Cormani McClain, they just gave him a freaking 5-star for nothing? Because I don't buy that.
Arch Manning's the number 1 quarterback in the nation.
Cormani McClain doesn't have a name like Arch Manning either.
I don't give a shit. Arch Manning is the number 1 quarterback in the nation.
Hey, don't compare apples to oranges, bro. What are you doing?
It's oranges to oranges. It's college football.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Bro, come on.
This is not the same thing. There's a difference in a kid from Florida
happens every year.
Top-level talent that played against top-level talent his entire time in Florida and was the number 1 unequipped. All the recruiting services had him number 1. And then there's a kid that you're talking about in Arch Manning he had all-pro uncles and an all-pro grandfather. And so even though he can't throw the ball, because his last name is Manning and they played in 2A football in Louisiana, he was still the number 1 guy. There was a lot of guys out there that were saying different. Nobody said that about Cormani McClain. Nobody but you just now. So let's not.
He's not that great.
You're better than this, bro. You're better than this.
He's not that great. We'll see. We'll see this year. Okay. I got plenty of body left. I think
that some 5-stars go to bad places. I agree with that. I agree. Well, look.
No, I don't think. No. Well, now here's the thing too. With
Jaden Hazelwood, and Theo Weiss did not work out as 5-star receivers, even coming to play for Lincoln.
Now I am worried about Colorado though.
Listen, I understand that he's got a great, but you got to have a better arm than that, Sooner Cowboy. He's got a noodle. He's got a noodle arm. Come on.
Yeah, it's weak.
And I'm not even saying anything. I mean, he's going to be better. He's going to get better. He's a freaking Manning. I get it.
Can we talk about this real fast?
And he damn sure wasn't better than Dante either. Go. What do you say?
Coach Prime not in the greatest health.
Yeah, let's talk. Yeah, man, I'm worried about it. Well, he came through the surgery well, but apparently he may lose the whole foot, man.
And then he had the groin. He had a blood clot in the groin.
that's coming from the foot thing. It's the same thing that happened when he ended up in the hospital for a month. Like, I mean, it almost killed him last summer.
We're talking about he may not coach at Colorado.
He's going to coach, but it's probably he could lose some time for sure. It depends on how it goes. If they go ahead and get this done, I don't know if this is going to push this back or I love it that you say this every time you come on the show, by the way. I do too. And there's guys out there talking about him being a dark horse, Shedeur being a dark horse Heisman guy. I think that may be a little premature, but he can spin it, man. The kid can throw.
No, I love everything that they're doing down there, but I just the surgeries are very concerning, and he may lose foot, toes, amputation.
No, listen, for the guy that was the fastest man alive for a long time, for him to lose an entire
world's
foot
best
is
DB,
crazy, right?
Yeah, the world's best DB ever, right? And he may never walk again.
What I understand, the surgery did go well, as far as the blood clot deal, and they're still looking at what they're going to do on the foot. Hey, prayers go out to Coach Prime and to the Colorado family. I think that they're going to be. I think it's going to be okay. He did bring in some really good. He brought in some really good coaches around him. Big time coaches. Everyone.
And Colorado is spending all the bag.
Absolutely, they're off, and their offensive coach, man, that guy. they're good to go there.
Hopefully he comes out of it. It's
in
really
the end,
sad.
Coach Prime is more there to make sure that you get the kids. That's who. He's not.
Yeah,
he doesn't sit there and try to act like he's he's a good motivator, but it's not like he's an X's and O's guy or anything more than. Like defensively with the DBs, he's going to do a great job for you.
And he's got Mike Zimmer there.
He does.
But
we'll see.
defense.
Please let Colorado beat USC. He says, "Me too." Hey.
Yeah, it's wild though that to see the world's best DB to be crippled.
Next homework assignment, folks. Speaking of USC. Do the Trojans have more wins? I'll probably put a poll up there for everybody. Do you think they have more wins in the regular season this season than last year? Less wins or the same?
What was their wins last year?
They went 11-2, or no, 11-1 in the regular season. They ended up losing 3 games. The
Pac-12 is so weak. I don't know.
Yeah, that's trash. But here's the thing: they didn't play Washington or Oregon last year. They lost twice to Utah. This year they will. I think, and here's the reason I'm asking. Here's the deal. Bottom line is, to me, you think he's going to have more wins, Sooner Cowboys. You're going to, okay, I'm going to remember that you said more. Okay. I'm going to tell you less. I think that he's going to win 8. I think they're going to go 8-4.
Well, they got the best transfer in the world with Bear
from
Georgia.
Oh, please. Bear?
Yeah,
fine.
He's going to turn that defense all around.
Yeah, all by himself. He's going to play 65 snaps a game and freaking do it all. Yeah.
Kim Hurst says the doctor for Prime said at best it was a 50-50 shot on his surgery. Jesus.
Oh, on the blood clot? Yeah, man, if that goes to your heart, you die now. You have an aneurysm, it's over.
Could you imagine? Oh
yeah.
My God. I can't.
It happens, dude. It happens and you wouldn't even know. And apparently that was the big problem that they were having, that last year they kept having these surgeries and he kept getting more blood clots. They thought he was going to die, man. He was in the hospital for a month. It's a big deal.
Somebody said it could be something to do with the... No, I'm not even going to say it. We're not trying to get banned.
Shot. Be nice. Be nice. Well, you are on fire tonight there,
the jab.
Cody.
The jab.
Dang, bro. Dang.
Somebody said
Professor had been on in a while. 4 wins about here.
No, I'm just saying that some people said that he did get the jab and that he has had blood clot problems ever since, which is a known side effect to one of the shots. And hopefully this.
Hey, look, I think it was the jab. I mean, and my old partner was here earlier. That was Bryce, and he said it looks like he got the jab, and I hope that that's not what this is about. Listen, I would ask you, what was the whole deal with DeMar Hamlin? You know, this kid's a freaking second-year player, and all of a sudden he's having a heart attack in the middle of a fucking football game?
Yeah. I think we need to probably. I mean, it's your channel. I have my theories about it, but I'm
not going to get to. Hey, look, you know what, they talk about this stuff a lot on there, but no, we're not going to get into whether you should have got it or not. I'm going to say this. I'm just going to say this is that there's a lot of lies being told by our country to us right now. A lot. Yeah, there's a lot of lies being told from the Pac-12. There's a lot of lies. That lying is a way of life, and I think it always has been to some extent. But what you're finding now is that it's so blatant. You don't even have to have a shred of proof whatsoever or be able to like show your work anymore. You can just bullshit and lie, and people can know you're full of crap, and it's okay. You know, you look at the whole thing with, and I think that they have there's the worst president in the world is in office right now. I think that I'm going to tell you now, the dude doesn't know his name. Okay. He doesn't know his name, but right.
Let's,
should we back off of that? Okay.
Jason, from two veterans like us, I'm just going to say this.
Right.
I've been jabbed with a lot of stuff. Okay. I mean, I've had the peanut butter shot, penicillin, everything, but I decided to not get this one. And
me too. I did too. And look, I've had COVID.
I've had it 3 times.
I've had it twice, but the second time was like for a day.
Yeah, me
too. The first time I was pretty sick, but as soon as I was able to get my hands on some antibiotics, it killed it in 2 days. Right.
It's tough, and guys,
you lost a job over not taking the jab. A lot of people did, man. So like my sons both took it. My one son works at a doctor's office, so he kind of had to. The other one works at a high-end golf course. He's a caddy. You cannot be around a bunch of people. And listen, I lost my business over it pretty much because we had a home theater installation company. How are you going to go and install in people's and stuff's houses? How are you going to do it? Because there was just too much. You can't. There's a lot of liability there. So look, it was a tough deal, and I'm not even saying. Look, I'm not telling you that it wasn't a problem. I'm going to tell you that that it became a bigger problem because they didn't have a vaccine and they locked people down that they shouldn't have locked down. So that allowed you to not get immunity. Because I've been around people for 7, 8, 9 years in my business. Every day, all day, my immune system was up. I hardly ever get sick.
Yeah, me too. I'm a mechanic, and I'm getting in people's nasty cars. Think about the last thing you clean is the nasty cars, and people are hacking and coughing in their cars, and
right.
I got 3 times, but I also didn't. I didn't.
The entire state of California, Sooner Cowboys. Like almost every restaurant in the state is closed.
Gone. It's gone forever. Comedy, the world famous. There was a comedy store there in California. Joe Rogan talks about, and they closed. They couldn't do it.
Yeah, I've seen this too. And here's the thing here's the only thing that I'm going to tell you, and I'm not going to get into we don't need to talk specifically about that, but I'm going to say this as a veteran, and Cody's a veteran too.
Absolutely.
I'm to the point now that whatever I'm hearing from the government, I believe the opposite.
Me too.
And I don't care who we're talking about. I don't care if we're talking about Republicans or Democrats. It doesn't really matter.
It's the same.
I don't buy their asses. If they're telling you one thing and they want you to believe one thing, you should automatically believe the other thing.
Yeah, I agree.
This is how it is. Because they're not here for you, right?
It doesn't matter if you're alt left, alt right, and we have friends that are on the other side.
I've got friends that every side or the other. Yes, absolutely. Me too.
And we all come with the same conclusion.
I'm able to get around not caring what you are. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter to me. When you go and you are part of the military and you're around, it's a melting pot of people, man. You know this. You're a Marine, right?
Yep.
People from everywhere. So you get to know more
you
people.
Can't even explain your choice.
They're your brothers. Right? They're your brothers, man.
Yeah.
That's it. And we fight with our brothers. Who cares? But in the end, all I would tell you is that none of it is what it's meant to be, right? This is a long rabbit hole. I don't want to do this. Hank, thank you. We don't need to do this.
Sorry.
let's go away from this conversation.
Sorry, guys. We got off on a tangent.
Let's remember that when it comes to this football team, if he hasn't shown by year 3 that they look like they're ready, right? Because I think you could lose some games in that first year in the SEC because that's a tough schedule.
Yeah,
it's a tough schedule. Do I think that you can still go 9-3? I do. Do I think maybe 10-2? Maybe. It will depend on how ready Jackson really is.
So I ask you this: what happens if you win the Big 12 this year, right? And then you go like,
so
like
the Big 12 is not the SEC, bro. We're just gonna say that now.
What happens if you go 4-8 your first year in the SEC? Do you fire him?
No, I don't think so. I think it would depend on.
Do you think OU fans will be in riot if you go 4-8 your first year?
Not lose more than 4 games this year. Yeah, I don't know that. Sooner Cowboy, we've been talking about that a lot. I'm not sure that I'm okay with 4 at this point. I think that when you go to the SEC, it's different because first off, I think Dylan would be eligible. Let's say he plays all season, stays healthy, they win the Big 12 championship. He still has another year. Are they going to make Jackson wait? I'm going to tell you, there will be a lot of people that are like, nah. It'll be like the whole Stetson Bennett thing in Georgia. They're trying to get rid of that dude for 3 years. Right? Everything they could do.
Yeah.
But what I'll tell you is that if you're going into a situation, you're playing in the SEC first time, I don't care that Oklahoma is Oklahoma. It doesn't, but you're not going to have been through that yet. Right? Yeah, I think he is. I think he's gone after this year, guys.
Okay, so
just telling you, he does have another year. And if they were to win it, let's say they get to the playoff, do you still sit him down? It's a good. I mean, if they get to the playoff, you sit him down. They win the conference championship and get to the playoff.
Well, yeah, you can do NIL too to keep.
I think so.
This is my question.
I think he knows this is his last year too.
Say what happens if you win the Big 12 and then the next year it's abysmal because you get into the SEC. Are they going to be are Oklahoma fans going to be calling for his name?
His draft stock can't be any better than if he gets there because right now it's not. There's not much, right? He's probably a 4th or 5th rounder, maybe. Right? That's what we were talking about on Jay's show. I feel like, yeah, probably. He would, and he probably should play hurt, Sooner Cowboys. I think that's a good point. Justin Fields. Yeah, he plays for the Bears. I don't know. I think he's better than I think CJ Stroud was okay. I think Justin was better. But I also didn't think Brock Purdy was the freaking a world beater either. So, I mean, I don't know. I agree. But here's the deal. I think that while I can find 4 teams on that schedule that you might lose to, losing all 4 of them, I just can't imagine what would happen there. Listen, if there's catastrophic injury stuff, things like that, you can't do anything about that. I still think they would win 8. Right? Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is you look at this schedule versus next year, right? Versus next year. Yeah, and Stetson did do it. But you look at this season, they're going up, and I mean, it's just a soft schedule, man. They leave the state 3 times total. They go to Cincinnati, they go to BYU, and they go to Dallas. And then their other road game, they've got the road game at Tulsa. It's right up the road, right? They've got, what's their other road games? Kansas? Yeah, I guess they'd leave one more time. Yeah, Georgia's games were still on in Norman. Yeah, right. Yeah, this game, you mean playing them to kind of get them ready? I agree. I don't think it would have hurt anything. Unlike Okie Light, who doesn't want to play Bedlam anymore, even though they're going to have to find that other one. I think 9 wins is the floor. Hank, I think we've kind of been there, right? I think that's kind of been where we've been for the last couple of weeks. I said
first year in the SEC.
No, I'm saying this season. There's 9 better be their floor.
Oh, what do you think about the first year in the SEC?
Well, we could go through what I was saying. I was looking. If you look at it, and I still have. Where did I put those? Man, I don't know.
So if you win the Big 12, and then it's a
but okay, but here's the no, it's not that it's that, but here's the deal. You've got road games against LSU. You've got road game at Auburn.
Yeah.
You got
it's the SEC. What do you want? It's
brutal. And then you get Alabama at home, you get Tennessee at home. I mean, this is
Sooner Cowboy. You say 7-5 and 9-3 first year in the SEC. That's acceptable to you, or is that what you're predicting? As a Sooner fan,
think about this and the reason why it's acceptable, or to me it would be, right, is the fact that you have to look at it in terms of okay.
OU versus the SEC is 117 versus via 10, if not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so they don't. Well, they play 3 of the 4 big guys. They've played 3 of the 4 big guys. They play LSU, they play Alabama, they play Tennessee. They're we're talking about, and 2 of those are at home, but they've only got 3 conference road home games. They've got 4 road games plus the Red River, which is it's a neutral site game, of course.
It's toss up, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, they kind of own Dallas, so it's okay. But I mean, if you really want to talk about it, they're not. It's kind of a tough gig for them, right? Where the hell is this?
What's the whole schedule? Your first year in the SEC? Do you have that yet?
I was trying to pull it up, but I don't have it yet. Just a minute, please, sir. One moment.
Because we got ours, and we're playing Texas. I wanted to play Oklahoma off bat, but we're playing Texas.
Here it is.
We got beat up on a 5-win Sark.
7-win Sark? Yeah, that's what he does. Maybe. But I think he may drop to 5 this year. I could see that.
5. He'll be 3-win Sark in the SEC.
Damn it.
He thinks he's going to beat Bama, Georgia, and Ole Miss. Ole Miss will hang 50 points on you, no problem.
Yeah. All right, I got it. I'm pulling it up here. Share screen.
So we're gonna go through essentially the first year of OU in the SEC, right?
Yeah, we've done this. We did this last week too, but yeah. So you've got South Carolina at home, Alabama at home, Tennessee at home. Texas is obviously it's the neutral site game, but you got to go on the road to Ole Miss, LSU, and Auburn, and Mizzou.
God. And Mizzou's a trap game.
No, it isn't. They beat Mizzou 9 out of 10 years while they were in the league with them. So
so you're not worried about Mizzou. Okay, so
at all.
South Carolina is a win. Alabama's a loss. Tennessee is probably a win. And people are gonna probably freak out because I say that because they're on the rise, but we'll see after this year. I think they're a flash in the pan. And then you have Texas, which is a 50-50 toss-up. You're probably going to lose to LSU. It's going to be a night game. It's going to be in Death Valley.
It's
going to be rowdy. And Ole Miss is going to be a night game. Lane Kiffin's going to lay 70 points on you. That's probably going to be a loss, and then a toss-up for Missouri.
So, look, I mean, and I mean, listen, I get this. And that's the whole thing is that you do have to kind of look at it in terms of, I mean, let me zoom in on this a bit, boys.
I mean, just from a guy that watches SEC football every year, like I'm just
listen. That's a hard schedule. Well, and then when you look at it in comparison to
what's
the Texas' schedule, Look at it in comparison to Texas. It's different, right? So, all right. If you look at Texas, they get Florida and Georgia at home. They get Mississippi State at home and Kentucky. So, I mean, and then they get Arkansas on the road. The Oklahoma game is obviously, again, it's a neutral site. But they get Texas A&M on the road and Vandy. I mean, come on. Now, should this schedule reverse next year? Yeah.
It will reverse. Yeah.
It's supposed to.
Allegedly.
But no way on Ole Miss. No way on what? They're going to win that game, bro. They're going to win that game.
No way on Ole Miss hanging 70 points up? Are you kidding me?
They're not going to hang 70 on that defense, bro. No way.
I hope not. Per my
no. So here's where I would have Oklahoma at. I think if you're going to lose one, I could see losing to Bama, but if they're at home, they could also win it. Maybe they're going to beat South Carolina. I think if they split with Bama and Tennessee, that's probably okay. You should win the Tennessee game. They're not going to play defense. Texas, yeah, whatever. You should win it. Auburn, hey, look, I think that with Hugh Freeze, we don't know where they're going to look at. What are they going to look at? What are they going to look like next year?
Oh, God knows.
They
think
could be really
is
good.
A bigger flash in the pan, Tennessee or South Carolina?
South Carolina. Yeah. And I like Coach
fan.
Beamer a little bit, but I don't think he's that good, no. And I know that Spencer Rattler isn't.
Yeah.
I know that Spencer Rattler isn't. He's a freaking head case. Crybaby. Asshole. Sorry.
How does Georgia get the easiest schedule ever?
Yeah, that's not happening, man. Don't let him. Y'all give him shit. Don't let him do it. Don't let him do it.
You think 50's laughable?
I don't think that's not going to happen. It's not. Hey, listen.
I'm not saying
I don't know how many times Kiffins had to deal with BV, but I know that BV's defenses, both of their national championships at Clemson were against Alabama.
We'll see. We will see.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, this is not. Yeah, Spencer won't be around, so they could be better, you know. And I like Lane. I do. I think he's a good coach.
I think the only team that I don't really know about is Tennessee.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they're a flash in the pan or not, I guess.
Yeah. We have own little T-Town. Yeah, so Tennessee. Yeah.
Do you agree?
You don't know that Tennessee's good. I think that their problem is defensively. I think that Josh Heupel is one of the best coaches in the country. I think that he's just like the rest of those guys from the Leach tree.
We had that at Florida too, but it didn't win us their national championships. You can't say Mullen's not a top 5 OC in the nation.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, I mean, he won at UCF. He's already winning at Tennessee. Nobody's won at Tennessee in a long time, right?
Yeah.
You know, and listen, you're not going to come in here and talk shit about Josh Heupel because he's the last guy that won a national championship for Oklahoma. So, you know,
I'm not talking shit. I just don't know if.
No, I know that. I don't know that they're there either. And I think everybody here will tell you that as good as they are offensively, until they put a defense on the field, you can't expect them to, because none of those guys do it. None of the guys that have become head coaches that worked for Mike Leach, and Mike Leach included, have ever put a decent defense on the field.
Cowboy, we finally agree on something.
You think they're a flash? I think they're good, but I also think that listen, when you take an ass whipping, yeah, if they win in Tuscaloosa, I'll give you that. No, they don't have to go to Athens. They went there last year. That one's at home.
Yeah,
they would lose their little orange minds over that shit.
You know, look at the schedule.
Tennessee fans kind of suck, though.
Yeah, they do.
Oh God,
they're like rowdy for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you 1 freaking year, you do something, and we're supposed to give a shit. Like, back it up, it up, do it again. Same thing I feel about Texas. And they didn't even have 1 year. They still went 8-5. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. It's kind of like Florida
When
State.
Sark wins 10 games, it'll be the first time.
I'm kind of high on Florida State too. Even being a Florida fan, I think they got a good quarterback. I think they got all the weapons. They added some through the transfer portal. But the question is, can they get it done? And when you're questioning that, like nobody questions can Alabama or Georgia get it done, right?
Right.
Or Clemson back in their heyday. You knew, but those teams are scary to bet on, right? They're scary to say, oh well, I think Florida State's going to be really good this year, and then for all we know, Jordan Travis goes out and blows his ACL out. God forbid, the first play of the season, and their season's done.
Right.
Wrong?
No, listen. And as Hank said, the last time OU had a lefty transfer quarterback, back-to-back years, they won the national championship. That was Josh, by the way. Yeah, listen. Yeah, I don't see that really happening this year. Maybe. They'd have to really listen. Okay, so tell me about this conversation. I hadn't watched Jay's show yet, so I hadn't seen this conversation that he had with the kid with the safety. So he thinks they're going to be a top 5 defense. Now this kid is a hitter. I mean, he almost killed DG in that game last year, right?
Who?
Yeah, they may be. Listen, yeah, I don't know. I think Nico. Do you think he starts this year?
Cookie Monster.
I still feel I still don't feel like he's probably going to be the starter right away. Is he?
Who cares?
Because, well, their guy that came in.
Offense isn't guys.
That's not their problem.
Offense isn't the problem.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Hendon Hooker was airing it out.
I never finished that point, and let me just go ahead and say that one more time. But yeah, Reggie Pearson saying that. Here's the deal with Tennessee. It's just, and I've been saying this shit a lot this past week. I don't know if you guys saw my appearance on The Voice of College Football. I had to fight that freaking guy the whole way. That knucklehead, and he won't even respond to me now.
Who?
A USC guy that came chiming into the Oklahoma Live and chirping and stuff. But he does all his chirping from the comment section, and he won't come on the show. So it would have been fun. But he's one of those guys. Yeah, same
Keyboard
deal.
warrior.
Yeah, shit talker. And he didn't even have any nothing factual. You know what I mean? It's like it would have been easy just to destroy him. But
I love that.
I was trying to not like go past the line on somebody else's show. So I really wanted him to come on mine. He won't.
You went on
here's the deal.
The Voice?
Huh?
You went on The Voice of College Football?
Yeah, I go on every Wednesday at 12:30.
No, I've been on there once.
Yeah, every Wednesday at 12:30. So, yeah, that dude's a chump, man. He's a chump. But here's the deal, and here's the bottom line, and we can say this knowing full well of what we expected of Lincoln when he was at OU, is that it didn't get better. And I mean, I think that Hank has said this. I think that Jimmy, you probably said this too. I know, and Kim, you guys have all said this a bunch, and I know I have. I think that last year was probably going to be their best chance to do whatever they were going to do. First off, they didn't have to play Oregon and Washington in the pack. So they get to that championship game. They should have won it. They had the Heisman Trophy winner, and he's probably the best quarterback to come through college football in a while, right? I mean, as far as like all around, he can do so many things, right? Yeah, Prangley, 10. Chump. Wish he'd jump in here. He won't. But anyway, yeah, and listen, I do feel like, and Pearson was very good. Yes. No, listen. Yeah, and I mean, we saw what we saw in the spring game, you know. We'll see. USC loses to Tulane. They lose twice to Utah, which I would tell you, Coach Witt.
Tulane's a program.
You're not supposed to be USC in the Heisman Trophy winner. You're not. At Tulane.
No, but
and I think Willie's a good coach. I think they have a good quarterback. And I think that they're going to make some noise this year. They should not have won that game. In fact, they wouldn't have won that game if Lincoln didn't do a Lincoln thing similar to your little squib kick at the Rose Bowl and take that stupid safety. The one thing you couldn't do, and you stick a guy back there to return the punt and fumbles it out of bounds for a safety. One thing you couldn't do.
What year did USC lose to Tulane?
This was this last season. Yeah, in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah,
New Year's
good.
Game.
Okay, well that's a little different, but they had a NFL running back in Tajay Spear and Cam Carroll.
They didn't have the Heisman Trophy winner, bro.
Oh, I get that, but
and
I get it. But
it is what it is. Bottom line is,
I mean, don't shit on Tulane. Tulane's a damn good program.
Brother, I'm not shitting on Tulane. I'm shitting on USC.
No, I get that, but when people say, "Oh, well, they lost to Tulane," like Tulane's a bottom.
You're not supposed to lose to Tulane. You're not. You're not.
You're not. No, that's it's a little different than like Miami losing to Middle Tennessee. You know what I mean?
That's not the same either. But you don't lose a New Year's Six freaking bowl game to Tulane. I'm sorry.
It's a good program. I don't know.
Stop it.
It is a good program.
Stop it.
It's a good program.
I agree.
You love their coach too. You love their coach, and you know you love their coach.
He's a great coach. I don't think he's got USC talent.
Oh no, the talent isn't there. No,
then what are we talking about? You don't lose that game if you're USC. If you're worth the shit. Yeah, again. That's where I'm at on it. And what I was getting at was until one of these guys that came from this Leech tree wins the national championship, you've got to freaking say that it's not happening.
Yeah.
None of them have done it.
How many Saban guys have won national championships now?
Just Kirby and Jimbo.
And the guy at Clemson.
He's not a Saban guy.
Yeah, he is.
No.
He coached under Saban. Absolutely.
No.
Yes. Look it up.
He's not a Saban guy. That's not true. I don't think he is.
Look it up.
Yes, that's what we've been talking about. USC is going to get a little worse each year because they have what? They have a yoga instructor as a strength and conditioning coach, and they have Alex Grinch as a defensive coordinator. Right. He played at Alabama. That's for sure. He's not a Saban guy. I'm going to tell you that now.
He worked there.
Not for Nick Saban. He was gone by the time Nick got there.
Are we sure? I got to look it up.
Bro, look it up. Yeah, bro, I'm never wrong about these things when I say that. If I'm going to tell you I'm right, I'll tell you I don't know. But if I
right.
tell you,
I was just wondering.
I'm right.
I was just wondering.
Dabo played for and he was a GA. Sad thing is OU led up nearly 40 points to a 2-win. Hey, Lizzie, you're right. What did we say before the game, Miles? If you were around back then, we were saying that he was going to lose that game because they kind of had his little number. I mean, they were supposed to be playing that game in Louisiana, and because of that hurricane, it was in Norman anyway, right? See, yeah, and he didn't have to play. He didn't have to play Washington. He didn't have to play Lanning in Oregon either. Now he's going to have to play both of them, plus Utah again. I mean, plus UCLA. They got rid of the division thing this year. I think they're losing the whole conference, but whatever. Yeah, listen,
he played. He coached 1 year at Alabama. He was an assistant.
But not for Nick. It was for.
This time under newly hired head coach Nick Saban.
Huh. And then he went and became offensive coordinator the next year. A
year after.
At Clemson.
Yeah, a year after. Huh. He did 1 year under Saban. So, okay, not the Saban tree. I'm not going to say he's on the Saban.
He's not a Saban tree guy. That's what I was getting at. Yeah, he's not. But what I'm getting at is, okay, but in whatever. I mean, there's a lot of those tree guys. But what I'll tell you is that it's definitely revolutionized the game of football. But you still got to win. You still, at some point, there has to be a balance between it. Now, the kind of offense which is similar but not the same, the Levy offense has won national championships. So,
natties are so hard to come by.
Natties are hard to come by, man. Here's the thing. That's
like
what
it's
you
nothing.
say. I mean, I guess you could say, well, I mean, because Leach ended up giving the job. He when he left Texas. He left to Tech after year one with Coach Stoops, right? He was only there a year, and then Mangino took it over. But he's not really. He hadn't been around Leach forever, right? I mean, that's going back a ways.
We're saying the same thing.
I don't think that he was in his tree. He wasn't. That was the whole Hal Mummy Leach. Leach was a Hal Mummy guy, right?
Well, I think the coaching tree thing is kind of weird too, right? It's kind of odd because there's all these trees, but there's even when you get to the NFL, right? Like you talk about the Patriots and how much success they had.
Well, and none of his assistants are worth a shit as head coach.
They've never won anything.
I
mean,
they rarely make the playoffs. They rarely even make the playoffs.
The only famous line that I've ever heard from a Belichick assistant.
Now, Vrabel's done very well as a head coach, but he wasn't like he coached under Belichick. He just played for him.
Yeah, and so
I'll give you that. Well, I always say this, but it's not on his radar. You know what I thought about, and this is something I brought up on The Voice when we were talking about Lincoln. And since he wanted to do that, I was like, look, think about that game. Think about the Georgia game. Think about the game against Tulane. We just talked about stupid freaking things happening on special teams. And they when he was at Oklahoma, and I'm pretty sure they're doing the same thing there at USC, they don't have a special teams coordinator. They don't even have a special teams coach. They practice it 30 minutes a week. 30 minutes a week. And they have mistakes that get them hurt, right? It gets them hurt in games. It has a number of times. The Rose Bowl, that it wasn't because of the squib kick, but it was stupid. And it started the momentum going the other way that Georgia ended up winning. They should have blown Georgia out. He let off the gas with Baker, and as soon as he did, it went bad.
Speaking, Sooner Cowboy says Kirby in Georgia has a tree now.
Yeah, Lanning. I mean, Todd Monken.
Yeah.
We're going to find out where he ends up at some point. Right now, he's the OC.
That's a Saban disciple, and so is Napier.
Yeah.
Actually,
Billy.
Him, Napier, and Kirby are actually everybody. This is probably going to blow your minds, but they actually have a group chat.
Yeah.
Kirby,
they're boys.
Napier, and Saban.
But I hear that Kirby's a little shady, man. When it
Kirby?
comes to he acts like he's kissing the ring, but I don't think he really is.
So with Kirby, he's one of those guys that he'll steal your players.
That's a lot. Yeah, he will for sure. Absolutely.
But the thing is that Austin Armstrong, our defensive coordinator for Florida, Napier sent him to Kirby to go learn defense. And a lot of people don't know that. He called him and said, I got a bright young kid I really like. I want him to go to you for a year and learn defense. And we're running the Georgia defense now. And it's one of those things. And they're in a group text together. They give each other shit and they're competitive. Right. But it's always respectful. And we've flipped kids from Georgia.
They're friends. From and I think that Jimbo is in that line, right? But and although I think that him and Nick get along, he's a lot more competitive about it. And I don't think Nick ever really let him do his thing. You know what I mean?
Jimbo's problem is he's got some other problems.
He's a whack job. He's a freaking used car salesman. The dude's full of shit, man.
And a drunk. Yeah.
Yeah, he's full of shit. The guy, and I don't care. Listen, I think that's a dark horse team in the SEC this year. If they let Petrino call the plays, there's no way in hell he does it all year. There's no way. I don't care if they're winning. He won't.
He won't.
He will implode it on purpose.
He can't. He
can't have it not be about him. He cannot have it not be about
Jimbo him. Is Jimbo.
That's right.
And I think we all can agree on that. Everybody in this chat.
Dude, hey, this used to drive me crazy right here. Fair catches on kickoffs. is to piss me right off, man. They are a dark horse because they've got a good defense, and that quarterback looked good at the end of the year when they finally played him. He's got the game right. And listen, Bobby Petrino can dial it up, man. Can dial it up.
Well, I don't know what they have left.
They always class. Well, they even this class wasn't that bad. I think it was top 15. But they lost most of those big boys that they got.
Can we say this though? Texas A&M and probably Nebraska, about the most faithful fan bases ever. They load that stadium up no matter what.
They've beaten LSU some though, Hank, but I agree with you. I still think, I don't know, man. Here's the thing. They beat Texas. They beat LSU last year.
They did. And a shocker.
I mean, is that looking up at them? I don't know. Guys, we've been going on for 2 hours and 10 minutes on an impromptu. Yeah, keep Petrino out of your wife's house. Keep him out of your house around your wife, and no motorcycles. Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Out of the gambling too. He's got gambling.
It's a dumbass, man. That dude's a freaking pain in the ass. Guys, we appreciate everybody coming in. We are getting ready, and I've been saying this a little bit. We are about 2 weeks.
Uh-oh. Bros.
5 days a week we will be going as soon as we get done. It's gonna be great. I'm excited about it. Please make sure that you are sharing the channel with your friends. Don't be afraid to toss a tip in every once in a while. Hey, jump on there and get some of our pod merchandise. If there's something you want to see in that merchandise store, tell me what it is so that we can get it there for you. Okay. We want to make sure that we're getting you that stuff. I'm going to get all the stuff together for our Louisiana Grills. Unbelievable. Amen. For everybody who's a big barbecue guy, and I know it's me,
what?
I like to eat. Hey, Louisiana Grills are right up there. We have our partnership deal now with Louisiana Grills. Yeah. So check all that out. It's going to be really cool. Professor's YouTube channel. Let them know where to find you there, Professor. Obviously at Hightop Sports as well. But
yeah, so I have so truthfully, I've elapsed my channel because I am producing everything from Hightop Sports on the NFL side. So I'm super busy with that. What I think we're gonna do is I think me and Jason are gonna hash it out, and then I will be a guest for some Texas Tech and some SEC coverage. I'm
gonna have a lot of guys that I'm gonna have on once a week anyway. I would love to have. We're probably going to end up doing a couple of deals a week for Texas Tech because we've got some sponsorship opportunities here in this area for it. And look, I mean, they're right here. Obviously, I'll be more on Oklahoma than anything else, but I mean, we're going to cover the entire. We're trying to grow this channel into what you've seen a lot of these other ones grow into, where they've got a network of guys covering everybody.
Yep.
So we're trying to do as much as we can with that. We'll kind of see how it goes this first year, but for sure you can expect me to. I mean, I'm going to be at most of the games that I can. We'll be at media days coming up for Big 12 media days. I've got my stuff in for that as well. Hopefully we'll be over there. So yeah, we're excited, man. It's exciting, and there's big plans for the SEC. That first year of the SEC, man. It's going to be a road trip. We're gonna do some cool stuff. So I'm excited about it. Uncle Lou status. Hey man, if I'm anywhere close to Uncle Lou, that would be very cool. One of my favorite, but he's a great channel, dude. I know you hate Georgia, but if you don't like Uncle Lou's channel, you don't like content. And he's just like you guys, even probably a little rougher.
Yeah.
You guys talk shit too. But Uncle Lou's cool, man. Love
Uncle Lou's a good
Thanks
dude.
a lot, Kim. I appreciate that. Everybody for popping in. We really appreciate. Hey man, none of this would be possible without all you guys, right?
Absolutely.
None of it, and I appreciate you guys always being here for us. Anytime I turn it on, what Hank said is right. Anytime he sees the notification, he's here. All you guys have become that way. Jimmy gives me a hard time. So does the Cowboys, but they're always here, and I appreciate it, man. I really do. You live 5 minutes away from Uncle Lou, really? Tell him I'd like to hang out with him, man. I'd like to work with him every once in a while. He's fun, man. I love his show. Love his show, man. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
again, get on there and check out Hightop. I think you guys will have a lot of fun with them too. They're fun. They talk a lot of trash, but they are good people. I mean, look, again,
you're always in there.
Always. I love it. And I don't even care about the Jaguars, but look at that. I got a Jason White signed Heisman helmet from Hightop, man. Pretty awesome stuff, right? So yeah, get on over there, check these guys out. Let's make sure that we get them. But hey, also jump onto JJ Kitchen if you guys haven't already subscribed to JJ, you need to. He's got a great channel, man. He's putting out content. He's going to be doing more. But he's going to be another one of those once a week guys for me. Probably Okie like Cody. We're hoping to get him on once a week. There's some other guys we're looking at too. But listen, we're going to be something I want to check. We're going to kind of take a look at some of these later ones, maybe go some early ones too, figure out what days are better for what. I know you guys had said last week maybe more evening stuff. I get it. But to me, I think if we could do maybe 1 or 2 mornings, obviously, Saturdays it'll be after games, whatever. But hey, what are we at now? 63 days?
Yeah,
65 days.
Is why I texted
63 days
from
until
week 0.
the start of college football. Make sure that you get into our stores. Make sure you get pod merchandise. Make sure that you get frozen. It's frozen. I'll pop that. It's definitely in the description always. Jump in there, check out all the Fanatic stuff. You don't overpay for your licensed gear anymore for your favorite teams, guys. Thanks a lot for everybody coming in. We will see you on the next one. And thanks a lot, Cody. Great having you on as always, brother.
Yeah, no problem, man.
We'll see you here on the next one as well.
Love being on. I appreciate you guys. And like I said, go check out Hightop Sports. And we will be we go live every Sunday and then Wednesday for the college show. I think he's got to close that out.
I wasn't trying to jump out like that. That was crazy. Hey, thanks a lot, guys, again for coming in. I appreciate it. I'm going to get off of here before it kicks me back out and before I can say goodbye. But thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, you guys all know the drill, right? Say it with me. Smash that red subscriber button. Like our videos. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss one moment of the Hall of Fame College Football Podcast. Hey, we even have amazing pod merchandise right here in our store. Hey, while you're here,